Hello, everyone. My name is Christine, and I'm here with Kristin today, and this is our 17th episode of Walking the Path. And we're nearing the end of 2017, and we're so happy to be here with you all. And so just before we jump into our topic for today, we'll just do brief introductions for those of you who don't know too much about us, just a little about where we're at in our journey and where we're at on our path. So Kristin, where would you say you're at on your path these days?
Hi, Christine. Yeah, I'm really not too sure. I feel a little bit like Alice in Wonderland right now. Yeah. I know I'm in the right place on my in southern Mexico right now, on the Pacific coast, in Oaxaca, in a community called Puerto Escondido. And I'm embarking on a 13-week journey of holding space and facilitating a bunch of retreats here at a really sweet little retreat center just a few blocks from the beach. And yeah, the last 2 months that we've been here preparing have been, they've been really interesting and full of learning and challenges and just integrating into the energy of Mexico. It's a very vibrant, lively, colorful, loud, bustling place on the planet. And it's also full of nature and wonder and magic. And so I think I'm just trying to integrate all of that as well as the holiday time. Yeah, and now we have an approaching full moon, and who even knows what's coming? I just feel like I have no idea what's going on, but I know I'm in the right place, and I think that's all that matters right now. So yeah, thanks for asking, and maybe you can tell us where you're at on your path right now.
Well, I've just moved, so I was living on Vancouver Island, just outside of Victoria, and now I'm in Vancouver, and so adjusting to a new home, a new city, a new area. And it feels so much more aligned for me and just home for me, of creating that foundation that I've been asking for that's really based on feeling loved and safe and supported and just cultivating those energies more and more. And I think a lot of the tools that we've gained over so many years, like that were previously nice sentiments about living in the now or being present or being in the moment, those sorts of things become so relevant now when there is such a level of uncertainty or unknown or just sensing like what is coming and not having a clear ability to just either pretend we can project and just know it from logic or going into fear. It's just like, oh, well, I'm going to show up today. I'm going to be with my body today. I'm going to nurture my body today. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to be present with the people in my life. It's like that capacity to slow things down when we feel like we're being carried, like, or taken over by that accelerated energy that we can't even quite figure out what it's all about. It's kind of that like where we just feel either overwhelmed with it, or it shows up as anxiety or mental fog or racing thoughts. So I feel like now is such a time to put our tools into practice. Everything we've learned about breath, being in the moment, showing up, tuning into your body, tuning into your heart, tuning into your higher self, tuning into the universe at large, asking questions, listening deeply, all those things that can assist us to approach these times with as much love and wisdom and ease as possible.
Totally. I was giggling to myself when you said, slowing down. One of the biggest things for me that Mexico teaches is slow down. There's a general vibe here that's just saying slow down. And I feel like when I crossed into Mexico, I went from fifth gear to first gear, and it was a little bit jarring, actually. And so there's been like an adjustment period to like going, well, I don't know if I'm going to have good internet connection. Oh, the power just went out, or like we were on a call the other day with a friend and the power just cut out and everything just cut out, and then it was dark and the internet cut out. And, so yeah, just really, really being forced to just kind of relax into the flow. And sometimes the flow here and other places just feels like total chaos. And I just find myself going, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? And then something just says, shh, it's going to be fine. Just take a deep breath, or 10 deep breaths, or infinite deep breaths, and just shh, it's going to be okay. So yeah, using the tools that we've all been talking about and practicing, like, I really, really feel that they need to be brought to the forefront for anyone who wants to move into 2018 with more grace and ease. And I do. I really, really do. And, 2017 has been a bit of a wild ride for so many of us. And I won't say that it's been good or bad. There's been beautiful, blissful things and super difficult, challenging things. And I'm getting an overall sense that humanity is stepping into a greater sense of awareness and consciousness right now. And it's coming in all kinds of forms for different people. But I can feel it. I can feel that it's happening. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm. And I really feel that that is the theme of our talk today, is really putting our tools into practice and noticing when we're, say, getting locked in a time-based reality again, where we're saying, I don't have enough time, or I got to get everything done now, and just kind of take a breath and say, what is the priority right now? What can I attend to? Just acknowledging any time where shallow breathing and rushing, because sometimes as the energy floods in, or as we're sensing that chaos in the field, it can just kind of make its way in, whether through our body or through our emotions or through our mind. And we just have to take that deep breath and choose, okay, this is what I'm aware of in the field. I'm aware of a lot of chaos, uncertainty, people holding their breaths and just waiting to see what's going to happen, as though, life happens to them. And those of us who have more tools and have practiced choice and empowerment and what can I change, what is available, really have to put those tools to practice and say, okay, what's different for me? Yes, there may be a lot of chaos, but I can choose to breathe deeply right now. I can choose to be loving with my partner or my friend or the person I meet at the coffee shop. Like, we can be that difference by putting those tools into practice, but it does require almost changing our frequency from the dominant collective, which can be one of panic and feeling frazzled, and we have to almost, like, whether go above or underneath or behind, like whatever you perceive it from a directional perspective, to like find our home frequency or essence, or just that resonance of love that allows us to actually include more in our awareness and bring our body to a greater peace, so that everything becomes that ease and joy that we've been asking for. But acknowledging that there may be really sobering moments in this next while. So we can't expect ourselves to be light and joyful and happy when we're not. And we can be where we are and welcome the joy and happiness to arise, because it is there somewhere. But sometimes we have to move through what's here for us right now to be able to receive it. And we can't expect or force ourselves to be there if we're not.
Absolutely. It's so true. Yeah, I've gotten a number of messages from friends in different parts of the world over the last week here. And a lot of people have been very vulnerable and sharing that they're having a really hard time right now. And, I think a lot of us just need a sense of connection, and I was just sharing with Kristin before we started recording our session here, that I think we've mentioned the gene keys before in some of our talks, just kind of touched on it, but my family members that are here with me and some friends were studying part of the gene keys, and it's called the Venus sequence. And there's a program that we're following, and the Venus sequence is all about how we show up in relationships in our life. And something that he says right in the introduction of the Venus sequence is, I encourage you to travel the path of the Venus sequence with company. And that just resonated with me so deeply. And I just want to suggest that people travel into 2018 with company. A lot of us have tendencies to isolate ourselves, to kind of become hermits, especially in the winter months. And I know it's kind of funny that I'm saying that and I'm here, but I've spent most of my winter months every year of my life in places that get dark and cold and sort of gloomy. And, you know, I used to really suffer from depression when I was younger, until I realized that, you know, I didn't have to go it alone, and that so many other people were really struggling. But we're trained to hide that and just pretend. You know, we have this facade, this mask that's, you know, happy no matter what, and our emotions and kind of spew anything that we're going through on others. But it's okay to just say, you know what, I don't really feel like I'm okay today, and just like sit with that. And, you know, no one needs to fix anyone else or, you know, try to make it okay, but just the presence of knowing that there's another heart out there that has the compassion and the understanding it can be the thing that gets someone from, you know, 0 to 100. I've been in the presence of people who have had suicidal thoughts lately, and, you know, just eye contact and being real and just saying, I see you and I hear you, and, you know, I am enjoying being in your presence. You're worth knowing. Like that can make the difference for somebody, you know. So authenticity is the key right now, I think.
Mm-hmm. And getting curious about the new experiences that are possible, because especially in regards to our emotional body and emotional world, we have a history. How did people treat us emotionally? Like, did they say it's okay to feel, or did they say it's not okay? Like, and so sometimes when we tune into having people there with us, we can make the assumption that they'll treat our emotional experience the same way other people have. And so it takes a lot of courage to be like, what if it's different, because they're different. And as we attend to our emotional body, typically we'll line up with more people who are attending to theirs, and people just treat us the way they treat themselves. So if they're really dismissive of their emotional experience, and they'll be dismissive of ours, right? But as we do develop those tools and those abilities to breathe, be present, acknowledge if there's sadness, acknowledge if there's grief, acknowledge if there's fear, acknowledge if there's anxiety or worry, say, wow, there's a lot of fear in my experience right now. Okay, what can I offer here? What's available here? As we do that for ourselves, we can receive other people being there too, doing the same. But how we are treated, it's just a product of the people, their emotional development, and how we treat others is a product of our emotional development. And so as we take ownership and responsibility for growing up emotionally, then we can be around others who are more emotionally developed. And we can't expect ourselves or others to be further along than we are, because this is an area where a lot of us have huge gaps where we just weren't given the resources early on. And so we're having to fill in those gaps with the missing experiences. Right? What didn't we get at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like throughout, that now we can give ourselves and each other to repair, that framework, that to create the emotional safety, to create the peace and calm, to create the inner resourcing, and subsequently the community resourcing that changes this whole framework of this life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, kind of really the foundation behind why we decided to take on this huge project of 13 weeks of creating a safe and nurturing community here at this retreat space was to offer people an alternative to all-inclusive resort retreats, which aren't a bad thing. I've gone to them before and gotten what I needed at the time. But, the people that are signing up to join us in these retreats are saying things like, oh my gosh, I've realized I haven't been treating myself with enough love and kindness. I haven't been giving myself me time. I haven't been paying attention to my own needs and my own emotions, or, I've had this ongoing illness, or, just various versions of that. And so we've found that before we've even met these people that are coming to join us, just through our email and video call exchanges and phone calls, we're realizing that people are enabling themselves to be more vulnerable and be honest, you know, and that's what we want to invite in. We want to create a safe space for people to come and connect with themselves and remember who they are and why they've, you know, chosen to come in this lifetime. Like, what are you here for? And so many of us can go through decades of our lives, or maybe our whole lives, without anyone ever asking us that, or knowing that we can even ask ourselves that. And so, yeah, we're the place that we're at is called Los Milagritos, which means, you know, little miracles, and it's so perfect. I really, really feel like there are going to be so many miracles in all shapes, sizes, and colors and flavors in 2018. And Tanner, my partner, has this phrase. I can't even remember how we coined this phrase, but we have this little saying that we have, that sometimes miracles are messy. And I really feel it's true. You know, miracles aren't always all sparkly and shiny and, you know, easy. Sometimes miracles are like this weird, messy, chrysalis, soupy, totally deconstructing and reforming process where then the butterfly comes out, you know. And sometimes it feels like that chrysalis stage is like forever. And then with trust and patience and compassion and love, that's when the good stuff happens. So yeah, together we can get through these weird, unpredictable, bizarre times that we're all, I mean, I can't say we're all experiencing it, but pretty much everyone I know has been experiencing some version of that, you know, this year. And so here we are. You know, it's been a wild ride. I'll even say for myself, it's been unpredictable and crazy feeling a lot of this year. But right now I feel at peace with all the things that I experienced on my personal, unique journey this year. Unique masterpiece that's being painted for us, or maybe it's a song that's being pieced together note by note. You know, until our last moments, then we'll be able to look back and be like, wow, what an incredible, unique masterpiece that's been. And so my goal, I think, is to really try to see the beauty and the magic in all the moments, whether they're, you know, pretty and joyful, or they're difficult and kind of muddy, you know, like you were saying, just really feel what's happening, try to feel into it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing that just came in as a way to complete this session today is just to have a moment of silence. It's a little different than that, but just like, almost like a moment of prayer where we just, and we can both do it right now. It's like Kristin and I will tune into our hearts and our breath and our bodies. You know, pray, ask, and be this presence of love, and just sending this possibility out. So inviting everyone who watches this to come into your heart, come into your body, take a deep breath, connect to your essence, connect to the energetic knowing of what you're here for, even if you don't cognitively know yet. It's almost like, what if somewhere you do know, and just ask for that to come more and more alive through every cell of your body so you can access it, because it is something that evolves and expands. And as we move into 2018, asking for the highest possibilities available for each of us to actualize, to come into form, so that our hearts may be nurtured this year. We may come into deeper intimacy and authenticity and honesty, and know what it's like to see and be seen, understand and be understood, and receive blessings.
Thank you, Christine. That was perfect. So beautiful. I that resonated with me, every word. I appreciate that, and I hope that it struck something deep within each listener. And yeah, I feel strangely optimistic amongst all the uncertainty and that Alice in Wonderland feeling of like, where am I? What's going on? You know, Alice, you know, looks for the little signs, you know, the thing, I think it says like, drink me. It's like, oh, okay. You know, just try it, you know, look for the signs and go forth with a deep sense of trust into 2018. I know that's what I'm doing. I feel like I'm really walking on a path that is, it's very unknown right now. I mean, I guess the path for all of us is always unknown, but I feel like I'm walking into this blank light in 2018 and I can't see what's there at all. I don't even have a clue. But I plan to spend the first 4 months of it here. So I look forward to recording number 18 as our first one in 2018. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is perfect.
Yes, and thanks to all of you for tuning in, and thank you, Kristin, for recording these with me. And I wonder what we can step into and just how much more love and wisdom we can embody and express this year. So we'll see you on the next episode, everyone. Thank you again for watching.
Adios.